I was talking to a close friend about the hardships we had been facing. After speaking to someone I thought I knew everything about, I realized there was still much I didn't know. Not only was I surprised to hear what she had been going through, but I was also surprised to hear how similar her struggles were to my own. I thought about how many more people there were who were facing similar issues, but felt like they were on their own too. And so, I created the Epoch Project to show people how we are all more similar than we may think. This is a website where people could submit stories about their adversities anonymously. Here, people were given the opportunity to confess their emotions without the judgment of society. These are some of those stories.
When I was 17, my parents got divorced. My dad just left a few days before my 17th birthday and stayed in hotels throughout the spring. In that time, I sided with him as I had always been a daddy's girl, and I found out that my mom had been seeing a different man, sneaking around with him since Thanksgiving of my sophomore year. I stopped doing homework second semester. I was dropped from 2 core classes and started leaving school early to go to work. I skipped my last class every other day. So, I was really only enrolled in 2 core classes and 3 elective classes. I passed art, but that's it. Less deadlines, less work, and I still couldn't even pass. So, I did what I'm best at. I quit. I found the easy way out and graduated early by taking the state test. That summer, I juggled online college classes and 2 full-time jobs. I was kicked out of my house twice, both times due to the strained relationship between me and my mother, which I then transferred to my remaining family members. I spent weeks at a time living on couches, but then summer was over. Things got better, and I started seeing my mother in a new light. We don't fight that much anymore. I figured out how to balance a healthy relationship between both her and my father. Today, I'm about to finish my 3rd semester of college. I have the best group of friends I've ever had, and as I'm about to move a few hundred miles away, I actually have people who are going to miss me in the bubble. I've stopped holding grudges, and for the first time in 8 years, I'm happy.
A group of friends and I were all harassed sexually by someone we knew and were close to. We didn't know how to handle the situation, but are all thankful that we could get through it together.
During my sophomore and junior years, I wanted to kill myself. There was a lot going on between school, friends, and family stuff, so there wasn't really any time to just breathe and relax. I had 3 mental breakdowns within the first 2 months of junior year, if that gives any hint as to how the rest of the year was going to go. My grades were bad. It caused my relationship with my parents to be strained, going so far as to threatening to take me off the sports team I was on. I wasn't happy. Living life wasn't fun anymore. I just wanted to end it all. But I never did. I thought about it almost every day for those 2 years, how easy it would be to slit my wrists and be done. But I never did it. Whether it was because I was too scared to do so, or because somewhere inside I knew it wasn't worth it, I couldn't be more grateful. I realized that I had so much more life ahead of me, but I would never know if I ended my life then and there. It took me a while to realize I was looking at life in a negative way, that I wasn't giving much effort in school, and that I was drawing back from my friends, and I decided that I was going to turn my life around. Thank you to my parents for standing by me, even and especially when I was struggling. And thank you to the reader, viewer, whatever you are, whoever you are, for taking the time to listen. That really means a lot to me, and I just want to tell you, it does get easier. Whatever happens, it might seem like a big deal now, but it won't matter in a year or 2. Everything is going to be okay.
I'm anorexic. Each day is a struggle, and my mind is constantly filled with chaos. Everything revolves around food and having to be careful in front of other people. One day, I got tired of hiding it, so I told some close friends, expecting support and surprise. Well, apparently anorexia is some kind of trend now, so they didn't react how I expected them to. Instead of getting their support, they got uncomfortable and didn't want to talk about it. But that's the very thing I need, to talk about it. The most shocking and upsetting part is that they still continue to make fun of my eating habits, which I thought would stop once I told them. They make very insensitive comments, like I never even told them about my most personal secret. I almost died. I've spent years dealing with this. My entire personality has changed because of the horrific experiences I've gone through. Nobody can understand what the last few years of my life have been like. I still get PTSD. Yes, I hide it and smile. Yes, you might never have guessed just by looking at me, but that doesn't make my pain any less real.
I watched my dad, the person I looked up to the most, my best friend and my hero, turn into someone who was no longer human anymore. A trip to San Francisco over winter break with my family turned into the most traumatic and heartbreaking 3 weeks of my entire life. After noticing some definite personality change and hearing my dad claim that he did not feel like himself, we knew something was wrong. He was the most easygoing person I ever knew. He lived every day like it was his last. Until it was his last. We came home early from our trip, and my mom and dad spent the night of December 31st, 2016, in the emergency room, while my brothers and I waited at home for any news. I remember sitting on my bathroom floor, confused, not knowing what was going on. I never thought of the unthinkable. I didn't let myself. That was the longest night of my life, and we never got any solid news. They didn't know what was wrong with my dad, so they lined up countless MRIs and CAT scans. I felt so hopeless, not knowing what was going on at any time or what the future looked like. I never would have thought that 3 weeks later my life would be changed forever with a hole left in my heart. Over the course of those 3 weeks, I saw my dad turn into an unrecognizable person. He quickly lost functions such as speaking and walking as his brain rapidly deteriorated into nothing. I was scared. I never asked questions, and I could hardly even look at him or talk to him because it was too painful. I put on a brave face for my friends and family. Inside, however, I felt like a young child. I was terrified of what was happening and the changes it brought on. I kept thinking, why me? Why my family? Why my dad? I still don't have the answers to these questions as they still haunt me every single day. The last week and a half of his life was spent in a hospital bed. He was mostly unresponsive. Our friends and families stayed in the hospital with us day and night. I spent my time getting to know the hallway. I rarely stepped foot into his room. I cannot handle seeing my best friend as a lifeless being on a bed, strapped to countless monitors. I wish I spent more time with him to say goodbye. This will forever be one of my biggest regrets. I wish I got to tell him how much he meant to me and how he taught me enough for a lifetime in the 16 years I had with him. I haven't told anyone what my greatest fear is. I'm afraid I'll forget my dad. I'm afraid that since I only had 16 years with him, that in my adult life I'll forget the little things. Like when he made me cups of foam with sprinkles or cinnamon on top. And when he and I would go take pictures together. It also breaks my heart that I won't have my dad at any big milestones in my life, such as graduations, walking me down the aisle when I get married, or when I have kids. He is the one I want to share my big moments with. But he's gone. All I have are memories.
These are all direct words from Oak Park High School students. Many say that we don't have problems here, when in reality we are just ignorant to them. I encourage you to speak up more and judge less, because we all have our own demons. So take another look at your friends and peers, because you may only know them skin deep.